Hello and welcome to your Living A Course in Miracles audio book club call. Today is August 17th, 2018. My name is Christian. I'll be your host today. I'm really excited about today's call because I get to talk about A Course in Miracles and these really great videos that Linda chose for us this week. If you'd like to follow along and pause the video and check out the videos that we reviewed, feel free. The first video is called Advice on Sharing A Course in Miracles with Others. And it's really good. The second video is a Ken Wapnick video. It's called Everyone's Right or Everyone's Wrong, Blindsided by the Ego. And the third video that we review is called How Do I Judge My Progress with the Course. It's a Ken Wapnick video as well. So if you want to check those out and then follow along on our comments and discussion, I think it would help clarify things a little more. Also, if you'd like to join our Facebook group, it's called Living A Course in Miracles Audio Book Club. So we start off the call by introducing ourselves, where we're calling in from, and why we're excited. I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Christian Stanbury. Like I said, excited to discuss these awesome videos that Linda shows. Langdon Tompkins is making an appearance today, so it's always good to see him, of course. And, yeah, who wants to go next? You're all unmuted.
Okay, well, I'll go first if you want. I'm Langdon Tompkins. I haven't been around here for a while. I'm speaking from France. So it's actually Saturday morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. And yeah, to be honest, the one I really want to talk about is the first one, which might leave something for the others to talk about. The interesting thing for me is that all right to go ahead, Christian? First one, or do you want to Linda to say hello as well first?
Sure. Linda, do you want to introduce yourself, where you're calling in from, and why you're excited about today's call?
Okay, my name is Linda. Oh, wait a minute, okay, yeah. My name is Linda. I'm calling in from Lancaster, California, and I picked up a few videos. It's kind of like having a reality check on life, especially what you're doing. And I figured let me pick a few and see what people think. That's all.
Oh, wicked. Thank you. Yeah, they're really awesome.
And sometimes I guess we're trying to introduce others into A Course in Miracles. You have to really play it by ear if they're gonna. I know that's one of them. I know the other one is about judging. I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
I mean, I know when I picked them, they're very good. Thanks.
You too. Yeah, Langdon, go ahead. If you want to give us your highlights on the 3 videos, that'd be awesome. Yeah,
I mean, the first one about actually introducing the Course in Miracles to people. I found the Course, well, first of all, I came to the Course in Miracles through The Disappearance of the Universe, Gary Renard. And I got sort of halfway through The Disappearance of the Universe, and then, of course, there's a mention of the Course in Miracles. So I actually got hold of the Course in Miracles probably just before I finished reading the DU for the first time. And for me, it was so exciting because it answered so many questions I'd sort of had in the back of my mind, probably all of my life, even from childhood. And it excited me so much that it answered so many questions. I wanted to tell everybody.
Me too.
And that just wasn't a good idea. It really wasn't.
Me too.
I was, I living in France and living in the country, I don't really get to see many people. So I did Course in Miracles completely in isolation, really, for 4 years. The only person I really had to talk to about it was my wife, who was not in the least bit what you might call sympathetic to start with. I mean, things have changed. But, yeah, the hostility was quite unpleasant. And, yeah, and listening to this group of ladies and one gentleman talking about it, I kind of related to that a great deal. The only chance I had to really talk to anybody about A Course in Miracles, because I wanted to tell everybody, nobody wanted to know, I met this Buddhist guy, and he was the only guy who I could sort of say, well, what's it like living in an illusion? You know, you dealing with it okay? And he was fine with that. Whereas anybody else, they think you start raving bonkers. But what I have found is that the good thing about the Course in Miracles, when you get to find it, is that you can practice a Course in Miracles without actually telling anybody. And you can actually be having a bad day with somebody, and instead of trying to sort of talk to them about ego and why everything's going really badly, you can just look at them and just say to yourself, to them, you know, you're an immortal spirit, whole and innocent, all is forgiven and released. And you've done them a whole load of good, and you've done yourself a whole load of good, and they don't even need to know. I mean, they will benefit sometime in the future. It might be within minutes, it might be the next day, or it might be in a year's time. But you don't have to go around telling the world that you're a student of A Course in Miracles for it to do anyone any good. You could keep it as a complete secret for your entire life. Having said that,
and I think even in one part in Gary's books, Arts and Apursa say too, like, forgive quietly, you know, forgive silently.
Yeah. What I like about A Course in Miracles and why, you know, it's been great for me, first of all, is, like I say, it answered so many questions, but also the benefits. The benefits for me have always been the quietness of my mind since I've been doing it. Because my mind was a complete railway station of nonsense going on all the time. And if I let it, that can return. Loads and loads of thoughts coming and going, just like trains and passengers and all sorts of nonsense. But the fact that I can choose to have a quiet mind, you know, the peace and joy of God can be mine if I practice the course properly.
Yeah, I think that's really important, because peace is such a valuable thing, and but not so much to the ego, because the ego prefers conflict and chaos. And my mind has been quite a rail station for a long time, but that was by choice, you know. And just today I decided to start slowing myself down. I don't need to be always doing something, or or going to the bathroom, I need my cell phone or a book at least, you know. No. I don't need anything outside of me.
I think we grow up in a society where we can't live without noise. You know, we walk into a house, we turn the TV on, we turn the radio on. You know, we can't sit still. We have to be doing something, or we feel guilty. Oh, I should be doing something. That needs doing. Oh, I need to go and do that. And you think, all I need is just 3 minutes with God, or a minute with God. You know, just sit quietly and try and empty your mind, which is no mean feat. You know, to empty your mind. I've spent ages trying to do it sometimes, and the cat usually comes and sits on my lap. You know, I don't see the cat for a couple of days. I try and sit with God for 3 minutes, and the cat turns up and distracts me. Well, that's ego, isn't it?
Yeah, that's your little self.
It's always the ego. Or the dog wants to go for a walk, or, you know, he wants a biscuit or something. There'll be some distraction, you know. But that was quite important. I remember seeing on YouTube, there was this guy, he was saying about Course in Miracles, and he sort of gets a great big blue book up, and he said, "You would not believe how much trouble I get into trying to, you know, tell people about A Course in Miracles. You know, the viciousness and antagonistic, you know, comments and remarks." And
yeah, a prophet is not welcome in his own country, you know, or this course is a slap in the face to the ego, big time.
Absolutely, yeah,
absolutely. You know, like we love to be noticed, or we love a God that notices us, or, you know, so I just noticed some kind of Facebook post like last night. It was something like, "Thank God I'm this way," or somewhere along the lines of, like, I don't remember, but God knowing that we're here made it this way, or something, right? And I kind of like tied that in with the idea that the world's a dream, and the idea that the world's a dream, or that it's an illusion, or that it just, it's just this course is a complete slap in the face to the ego, you know.
Yeah. But you know, if you could get somebody to just listen to you for a minute and say, look, you know, if you actually read the course, you know, all the things that you find, you know, drive you up the wall, the course explains all those things. Now you can deal with it. You know, oh, I'm not interested in that rubbish. You know, you know. So as the lady said, you know, by trying to be helpful, you're actually not being helpful at all, because they're not ready. So, you know, by trying to be helpful, you actually end up attacking them.
Yeah, trust not your good intentions, they are not enough, or miracles should be involuntary, not under conscious control.
And then you end up attacking yourself. So basically what you've got to do is just shut up and say nothing, and do your forgiveness stuff silently. And the benefit of that, which I've experienced, is that as time goes by, that individual will suddenly come out with something totally surprising and say, of course, that thing you were talking about says all about that, doesn't it, or something?
Yeah. I think
they actually listened, but at the time they didn't like it. But now it sunk in, and it you know, you sow a seed, don't you?
Well, yeah, and sometimes I think that the basic premise starts with the way I delivered the message. Did I deliver the message with the ego, or did I deliver it with spirit? We're going to do something a little different today, and we're going to keep discussing the first video together, and then we'll discuss the second video highlights together, and then we'll discuss the third video again.
That's cool. So
right now we're still discussing, guys, the first video, advice on sharing A Course in Miracles with others, friends, and family. So yeah, Linda, jump in if you want to jump in too, Linda. We're still discussing that video that you were talking about. Advice on sharing A with others. Is there something else you wanted to add, Langdon, about that video, or should I jump in?
I think I've done on that one. Yeah.
If I had to tag along with what you said, same thing. Like, and she was saying, it's the excitement of finding a path that really truly makes sense, at least to us, right? And you know, if you have ears to hear and you want to listen, and it makes sense to us, and we just want to share that with other people, right? But trust not your good intentions, because I too, you know, an inexperienced course student that is having all these mystical experiences and just loving it, you know, going and trying to share it with everybody at the bar, you know, doesn't always go so good.
Yeah.
Luckily, actually, I never had one complaint. You know, I have such an extremely extroverted personality that it was hard to not talk about it. And let me see, the first job when I went, the first job, I did have a coworker blow up at me once. In 2008, that was the first year I started getting into it. I really wanted to tell the whole world then. You know, and talking to my friend, my older friend who introduced me to the course, or I would talk about something like an episode that happened. He'd say, you know, the more I get into this, the more I realize I just don't talk about it with anybody unless they ask me about it, or, you know.
That's the thing, isn't it? Let them ask you. See how far it goes, and even then, the ego may turn up unexpectedly.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Simon whose mother did the course for years, and you know, I've had several conversations with him that lasted a couple of hours, and you know, really talking about it deeply. And then suddenly there'll be a particular subject, and the ego sort of shows up, and he's there's a bit that he just doesn't get, or he doesn't like. You know, he doesn't like. And then that's where you sort of stop. You think, okay, well, we've done all right so far, but this is as far as we're going this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I find I can sense it very quickly. You know, if I feel like I'm proselytizing, or I got something to prove, or that I need to defend something, you know, because truth needs no defense. As soon as I feel any of that, I'm going to back off. You know, I do back off. I've been getting better at it, but like she said in that video, you know, as soon as I, you know, back off, forget about it, drop it. There is nobody out there anyways. If I feel like there's a real person out there that needs help and needs to know that I'm wrong, I'm wrong in the first place to think that I'm here, you know, and I'm better off wrong. I hope I have been wrong as one, you know. Would you rather be right or happy? So,
I mean, that was something where I would rush to defend it in the early days, you know, and that's my ego kicking in, you know, to defend is to attack, is in a sense. You know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Do you want to throw something in there, Linda, about the first video, advice on sharing A Course in Miracles with others? Have you tried to share it with others and got in trouble, or an experience like that, or are you really good at not talking about it or talking about it at the right time?
I know it's been like one or two people. A couple of them said that they really read the book and they understand it, so they had their own opinions about it. I mean, everybody's gonna have their own opinions about it, and that's it, you know. I mean, somebody told me that something with when Jesus died on the cross, his crucifixion, the book doesn't agree with that. So, I mean, I don't understand that too much, but I'm not gonna worry about that, you know. I mean, it's helping me. It got rid of the talking, the chatter in my head.
Mm-hmm. Which is brilliant because nothing else worked and this did. You know, that's amazing.
And that's what I focus on. But I mean, is there something in there that somebody else has an opinion on? Like, to me, it's a little weird, but I'm not going to worry about it, you know? As long as it helps me, I just keep it that simple, you know? Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. That's what I learned.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
If you've got a peaceful mind, Linda, you know that is the objective of the exercise. It is lovely, you know, to have a peaceful mind when you haven't had one. It's amazing.
I've been living here in California for like over 14 years, so I literally learned how to relax. I go to Codependency Anonymous meeting. I go to Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous and Overcomers Outreach meeting.
Oh, you're amazing. I'm planning on going to Alcoholics Anonymous too myself. I had one session in November and it was very helpful. It helped me to stay clean for a whole month. And I'm going to do it. I'm gonna jump in on that train with you again. Actually, you messaged me about your Alcoholics Anonymous meeting randomly on a night where, you know, I was like kind of like unhappy with drinking. So it was really cool. Thank you.
So what you can do is you could go to an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous and just simply tell the people you'd like to learn more, and simply share what's on your heart and play by ear and get phone numbers, all right? I mean, instead of taking the drink, call someone. That's what you should do, okay? And there's recovery movies out there, like the movie Flight and Clean and Sober, that movie with Michael Keaton. I mean, it's a bunch of recovery movies out there. I have a small library of it. If I can't make a meeting, I'll put a DVD in.
Oh, cool. I'm going to write
that movie Flight with Denzel Washington. Oh, I love it. It's great.
Oh, awesome. Thanks. And call someone. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So
I know the video thing in London is different from here. That's all I know. But maybe there's still the recovery movies in London. The video thing is different in London. That's all I know. It has a different name.
Well, I'm in Canada, and Langdon's,
I think it's different in Canada
recovering from the ego. Langdon's only recovering from the ego.
Yeah, I'm only recovering from the ego. I haven't got a problem with anything else that I know of.
I just to let you know, there's phone meetings and online meetings too, all right? So, I mean, if you can't get out, there's too much snow rain, you can make a phone call or just go to a meeting online. That's what I usually do.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Thank you so much. And I think it'll, like, even that's one of the reasons why I haven't done the Course in Miracles workbook for so long is just sometimes with alcohol, it just kind of gets in the way of the workbook. And I've heard Ken say, like, you know.
They go together in the same family. They're like cousins. That's what I think.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. And even Ken has said, like, if you have a problem with addiction, like, go to AA, NA, whatever, take one of those programs and then do the workbook, you know. So I would love to jump in on that again, get really silent, slow the mind down, like we were saying, and join and commune with my Father, our Father. So guys, let's continue on. Let's move to the second video and let's discuss again, like we just did, our highlight from the second one, which is called Either Everyone's Right or Everyone's Wrong, Blindsided by the Ego, where two different people in Ken Wapnick's audience ask a question. The first question was basically a woman asking for her husband, you know, get this, is there ever a time, Ken? Is there ever a time when someone is wrong and deserving of your wrath, you know? And it's kind of it's a funny back and forth conversation, pretty enjoyable video. yeah, he says like, well, yeah, people can be wrong, but ultimately, we're all right. There's a part in the book that says that because of who we are, we're right because we're a son of God. But yeah, people can be wrong, and no, they're never deserving of your wrath. For your information. And then the second question that the woman asked, or that a different woman asked, was like saying like she notices sometimes that she's about to choose the ego or choose wrongly. She can see the consequences clearly, but she still just goes ahead and does it, or or the blindsided part is basically like waking up depressed or just out of the blue being mad, or just kind of getting stuck in the thick of things without realizing why or how. And that's because Ken says we've split off cause and effect in our ego inside. We have split off cause and effect. So the decision-making mind is unconscious to us, and of course it's usually choosing the ego, or always choosing the ego if I think on the body. And yeah, so do one of you guys want to add something about that video?
Yeah, is there a case in the illusion? Everything in the illusion is wrong, isn't it? Anyway, and the self-defense thing. Anger is never justified. Ever.
Yeah, that's a powerful cornerstone of the thought system. Anger is never justified. It doesn't mean you don't get angry, but just don't justify your anger, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I always think of my own experiences because I've never really been attacked physically by anyone, but you can get attacked verbally by people, or people can wind you up, and you get the what's the name, holy instant, where you realise that you're reacting. Well, it's how you feel, isn't it? So forgiveness is always the option.
Yeah.
Asked to see it differently, and then forgive whatever it is that is winding you up. Give it away, as I always put it.
Yeah, it's like an inner choice, right? Like, it's like, okay, here I am, I'm in this situation. This person seems to be doing something that could get me angry if I wanted to, but rather instead I'd choose to have a holy instant. So the purpose of this relationship is I have the willingness. I want to be happy instead. It's like all these words I'm paraphrasing, but it's like that inner attitude that what is it for? Do I want to see myself as being attacked by this person? Or would I rather see them as innocent and be kind and loving towards them in a genuine way with the spirit?
That's the lesson, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's whether you spot the lesson or not. It's whether the ego does such a good job on you, you completely miss it and react to it, get yourself into a whole bunch of trouble. And then get home and think, crumbs, I made a right mess of that. So I'll have to
forgive there.
I'll forgive it when I get home.
Yeah, so it's never too late. Just as soon as you remember to do it, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few of those recently, because I for like 2 or 3 years, I had a very quiet time, didn't really see any people while I was studying the course, pretty much every day, but not really having any chance to practice it. Now that I'm, going out to work and stuff, and I'm meeting strangers, different folk, obviously they're presenting forgiveness opportunities far more regularly. And that's certainly been something to deal with, which is good, I suppose, because earlier on when I used to do these talks, people said, well, what about your forgiveness for the week? And I said, well, I haven't really had anything come up. And I was getting quite smug about it. Well, I'm not so smug now because the ego's, obviously been listening. So he's chucked a few things my way, nothing serious, but I think the little things still count, I'll talk about those later when we get forgiveness of the week. So it's
Cool. Looking forward to it. And shout out to Jared and Nathan and Randy and all the crew, of course, anybody who's been on the calls. Shout out to all y'all. We hope to see some more attendance from everyone. We'd love to have people coming on the call. If any of you listening out there want to jump in and be a guest on our call anytime, feel free. Again, the links are in the Facebook group, Living A Course in Miracles Audio Book Club. Or if you just want to private message one of us, I'm Christian Stambry, Langdon Tompkins, Linda Pettigrew. Private message any of us, Jared Krebs, and we can send you some links too if you don't want to get in on the Facebook group.
Good.
Yeah. Linda, do you want to add anything about the second video? Either everyone's right or wrong, blindsided by the ego?
Oh, God. Oh, God, that's the house I grew up in. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my parents, they were tough on me. I'm from my house of tough love, so my parents were right. I was always wrong, but, after a while, I knew to let go and let God, but I didn't know how. But when I hit the rooms of AA and NA, and I hear let go and let God, then I got the idea, so let other people, they get upset, let them get upset. They need to dump it, and that's it, And what you do is you do the holy instant, you be nice to them, you want to help them, not hurt them, if you can, and play it by ear. That's the best thing I can say.
Amazing, yeah.
You want to help people, but maybe even when you say good stuff, maybe that could hurt them. I don't know. It depends how they are, what the people in the situation is, but...
Yeah.
That's the way I do it.
That's perfect what you just said, and it ties into something that I was going to add earlier about advice and sharing Course in Miracles with others. It's kind of like, you said that you can say the right thing, but it might not be the right thing at that moment.
Yeah, my boyfriend told.
It's the content that matters and the purpose, like you said. And, there's been a lot of times, I have a lot of Facebook friends from high school and stuff, and a lot of them are not into this kind of stuff. And, and I post, sometimes I'll post a line from the Course and trying to doctor it a little bit to make sure it doesn't sound too Christian or religious, and no response, because maybe I was trying to prove something, or share something with people out there. But then there's another time where I picked a line from the Course that is extremely Christian sounding, and but I was coming from a place of love, and response from all random people of all walks of life loved it. So it was the content, it was that inspiration, right? It wasn't me deciding what people can hear or can't hear, what I think they're gonna like, what, no. So yeah, so that's good for the second video. Let's move on to the third, you guys, unless one of you want to add something. The third video is called How Do I Judge My Progress? This is a really good one, I think. I think this is a really cool video, especially to hear it from the Course's greatest teacher, Ken Wapnick. How do I judge my progress with this Course? I've seen this video before, and he basically refers to and he says it tongue-in-cheek, so, of course, how do I judge how can I judge anything, you know what I mean? So he says it tongue-in-cheek, but if there was one way that you could maybe judge your progress with this Course, it'd be that one day reading it, or, that you realize that the you that Jesus is speaking to is not the you reading the book. It's not, there's no one out there, so I guess it's mindfulness, abstractness, when you start to realize that you're not this identity, or it starts to let go a little bit, and you get that mindfulness where you kind of watch yourself standing above the battleground with Jesus, or forgiveness becomes more natural. You're excited for your new forgiveness opportunity. But yeah, really that abstractness, that being the observer, the decision maker, choosing, and being in that mindset, that's more progress. That's he says. So, anything you guys want to add?
You kind of said what I was going to say, but the thing that I did, that's kind of what happens. The mind is all there is. It just ain't nobody. Ain't got nobody, just a mind. And then there's either I just ain't got nobody. And then it's as you say, the decision mind. Mm-hmm. And you either choose the ego as your teacher, or Jesus, or Holy Spirit. HS I go for, but Jesus, if that's what you want. Christ mind, that's the other one, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
it's that peaceful part of you inside that recognizes total inclusion, that everyone deserves love. Indeed.
yeah. Getting back to my early days and not ever having anybody to talk to who was doing the course, um, it used to worry me quite a lot about how well I was doing, because the course does say somewhere that, this is a fast track to enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
But then it takes you at least a year to do
Oh,
the actual workbook. Plus,
and
it
at
takes
least,
you
yeah,
quite a while
five
to read the
lifetimes.
first bit.
5 lifetimes.
Yeah.
Which seems like a long time, but in the large spectrum of time and space, according to, that we if you believe in reincarnation or not, some of our
Yeah.
folks out there might not and stuff, and that's totally cool. But, the mind outside of time and space can seem to experience the world for quite some time. It took a long time to build our ego. It's going to take some time to undo it, right? But not nearly as much time with the Holy Spirit. Just removing all those blocks to the awareness of love's presence in our mind. Our part is so little, but the Holy Spirit's is so great. If we but knew,
Yeah.
wow.
And I know Ken Wapnick says in another one of his videos, you get to the end of reading the Course in Miracles, and you think, well, now what? Why haven't I disappeared?
Yeah, the most frustrating line in this course is at the end of the workbook, where it says this course is a beginning and not an end.
Yeah. Well, you've read the book, now you've got to go out and practice it, And
sometimes, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, and some of us don't learn how to practice forgiveness for a very long time, including myself. I still believe I've only had spurts of really practicing,
Yeah.
really, really, really immersion of forgiveness. But yeah, as soon as I get on that,
I think
but
Gary's books, the Art and Persa, it's like they keep hammering this. It's almost like an anvil, forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. For God's sake, don't forget the forgiveness. Doesn't matter about, everything else matters, but that's only the reason for the forgiveness. Don't forget it. And ego makes you forget. I mean, ego makes me forget to, the mantra I do in the morning, I'm not a body, I'm free. As God created me. Sometimes I forget it till about 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Which I was just gonna kind of add, it's like forgiveness is the thought system, and forgive means to give. Forgive means to give ahead of time. So it's like, miracles are natural and should not be consciously directed. Sometimes we do have to kind of practice the forgiveness thought process and whatnot. But really, I think it's that decision maker choosing ahead of time, how will I spend my day? What is the purpose of my day? As soon as you wake up, I am as God created me. His son can suffer nothing, or I am free. You're setting your intention for the day. You conquer the first hour of the day, you conquer the whole day. But you will have to reinforce it as you go throughout your day. But this is the giving ahead of time, preparing your mind to forgive naturally, habitually, then forcefully, I gotta forgive this person for what he did. No. Yeah, but if that helps you at first, absolutely, right? If that's the way you forgive, good. At least you're doing this, right? But it'll evolve into something much greater as we go, and I can't wait.
The thing is, it's like the old way was forgive and forget, but the new way is for to give. So give away to spirit to correct the error. Is for to get the release. So your forgiveness, you're forgiven, and the release is the badness that is in your mind. The peace of God has disappeared because you've got the or you're in pain or angry or just uncomfortable or whatever, depressed. So when you give, you say, look, I don't want to feel this way. I choose to see this differently. So I give this feeling away to spirit. And a few minutes later, you really have gotten release because you have forgotten what it was you were upset about. You feel it go. And that's the benefit. You know, you think, I don't really hear people talking about the experience of the benefit. You know, maybe they don't get the benefit. I do. I always, ever since I started doing the forgiveness, you know, I used to feel it like leave my body. You know, it was like, wow, you know.
I think for me, my problem is that I'm such a pleasure-seeking person that sometimes the pleasures of forgiveness don't seem so great at first for me, I guess, right now. Or just my ego chooses not to look at it for that long. And then, you know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's like you know, maybe you said you don't do enough of it to.
That's probably it right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
No
Well,
excuse.
you know, maybe it is. I don't know. I suppose it's like learning to play the piano. You know, when you first do it, you get all bum notes all the time. And if you practice, you get good notes, and then you get a melody, and then you get a tune, and then you know you can go on stage and do Carnegie Hall. But to start with, it sounds like a cacophony. So you know, but yeah, I think you just got to keep plugging away, and you will feel better. I always do.
Heck yeah.
But ego will try and make you forget that you felt better. Or doubt, or make a doubt. That's the other thing as well. If you forgive something or whatever, and you immediately get a thought, oh, that ain't going to work, you actually got to forgive that as well, because that's ego trying to sort of, you know.
But don't forget the law of cause and effect.
Yeah.
That's right.
Word and deed.
Yeah. Who said that?
That's Linda's man. Hey.
Yeah. Chip in.
I want to hear what he's saying over there, Linda. With the second sentence we just missed there, pal. I'd like to meet you if you like.
Yeah. Linda's switched off at the moment.
Yeah, Linda, throw your mic back on if you like. We'd like to hear from your awesome boyfriend. Just the mic's muted right now. But yeah, so we can't hear you right now, but if you'd like to chime in anytime, we'd love to hear what you got to say. So, Linda, do you want to jump?
About the reaping what you sow. Ask him about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, my boyfriend wants to ask about the law of cause and effect.
Yeah, and reaping what you sow. Yeah, absolutely. Like if I want to go about my life and be rude to everybody, or if I just want to think rudely about everybody, you know, judging, well, my thoughts are the cause, and the effect is going to be that I'm going to feel guilty or I'm going to feel worthless, because that's how I'm looking at other people. How I look at other people is how I'm going to see myself. And that's me reaping what I sow. If I'm sowing seeds of love and seeing people as being innocent, which we all indeed are, even if we're acting insanely, making mistakes, but ultimately we're innocent, then I'm gonna feel that myself. I'm gonna reap that innocence that I sow out there. I'm gonna feel that, or if I see others as being guilty bastards or deserving of my wrath, to take a line from one of the videos, then I'm gonna feel that way about myself, and I'm gonna put that guilt demands punishment. I'm gonna punish myself. So how do I want to look at other people? I think that's kind of the cause. That's on this level.
Yeah, so if you don't want to keep feeling that way, then stop doing the same thing.
That's it.
Yeah. It's like banging your head against the wall. It's nice when you stop.
It's like a boomerang.
Exactly. It's a mirror, a boomerang.
It's like a boomerang.
Yeah, a boomerang effect.
Totally. And if I don't feel it right now, then that boomerang is still coming around the corner.
Yeah, get you next week. But on a positive level, you know, I had a guy at work who was giving me a bad time a few weeks ago. And I decided to, you know, do the thing, you know, do the forgiveness and all the rest of it. And the following week, he just completely changed. He was not you know, the week before he was quite aggressive and grumpy, and I don't know. I really got the feeling he didn't like me at all, and now he's fine. So call that a miracle if you like. I'm enjoying it. Whatever, I don't work in an atmosphere of hostility. Maybe he wasn't angry with me. Maybe he was just angry at something else, and I just picked up on his sort of negativity. But he's fine now. So, maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's because I did my forgiveness stuff.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm happy. It's restored my peace of mind. So, everybody's happy. C'est la vie. That's life.
Yeah. Is there something you want to add, Linda, about the third video? How do I judge my progress?
Well, what I do is, I'll either meditate with God, or I watch YouTube videos, or I would do a 10-step moral inventory. And there's apps on that in your device, 10-step moral inventory. Mm-hmm. It originally came from AA, or there's another app, I don't know if it's going to be on your device or not. It's called Judge Your Neighbor. You simply just answer questions to both of them, and that's how you can judge to see how much you progress. I got a book here from a friend of mine, Colette White, who owns a Facebook group. It's called The Secret Recipe.
Let's see, I'm just going to make your screen
Colette
bigger.
White.
There we go. Show me the book one more time. I'm sorry.
Sorry if the words are backwards.
Mm-hmm. No, it's perfect. The Secret Recipe, the journaling practice that will transform you. Wow. And that's the work. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, what it has is you put in a journal thing. This morning I am grateful for. People I am grateful for this morning and why. My top 3 goals, short, medium, or long term. My action steps to achieve these goals. Who, what, action priority. Even in reflection and affirmation, the very best part of my day today was. And my win for today was. That's it, yeah.
This is brilliant. You see,
it's a good journaling book. I try to get to it every day. I get busy or I get too tired.
This is amazing. And, I'm saying this to the folks out there, but I'm really saying it to myself too, You want to get good at something, do the work, Your journaling, your sheets, your worksheets, they're so helpful. And the more work you put into it, the more results you're going to get out of it, right?
And I know I should be working out every day, but oh God, my legs are just so bad. And I get so tired, especially from dinner time on. I just like to just relax, meditate, watch a little TV, and...
Well, I don't know, Linda, but I don't know, Linda.
Because my bad legs, that's my fault.
Linda, do you forgive the pain in your legs?
I do. I'm going to have to.
Yeah.
Mark would tell you. I walk so slow. Mark goes maybe like about 4 or 5 times a lot faster than I do.
Right.
When I go up and down my 4-step stairway, maybe it take you guys maybe like 1 or 2 seconds. It takes me a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
or a minute.
Take it carefully. But I think
my legs on.
I think some people who do think they've got to forgive people, but you can forgive things as well.
Yeah, what was Mark just saying?
True forgiveness is not doing it over.
Is not doing it.
You can't keep forgiving and then keep doing. You can't keep forgiving and keep doing the same things over again. It's just an endless cycle. If you keep forgiving, that's just giving you permission to do it over again. You need to change it by changing your thoughts, words, and your actions. Forgiveness just repeats the same mistakes.
Yeah. You got to be able to find what is the cause of that mistake inside, and that brings me to actually. I started reading this book called Choose Again. Diederik Wolsak. I don't know if any of y'all out there heard about him before. He's a longtime course teacher, and he reminds me a lot of like Byron Katie, where you kind of like you look at these thoughts, like, because I repeat a lot of behavior myself that that I'm not too fond of, and I just keep kind of doing it, and so I forgive it. But I'd rather not do that kind of behavior, and then over the course, yeah, absolutely, you have something to fix it, right? And so yeah, that's why I'm gonna go to AA and stuff, and fix some things on the outside there, rather than just keep repeating the same old stupid behavior. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the old kind of forgiveness doesn't work and doesn't do anything. So, talking about forgiveness, let's jump into forgiveness in the field. We have about 10 or 15 minutes left. So we got lots of time to talk about our forgiveness in the field. So, and then we're going to decide who wants to choose the videos for next week. Langdon, whether you can attend or not next week.
I think next week could be all right, because I'm on holiday, so I'm not doing silly hours.
Cool.
It's quite tough staying up till this time of the day.
It is, and for that reason, if you just so happen to maybe you can't, that's okay. But I was going to say, I want you to choose the videos for this week, okay?
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have to go and find some.
Yeah. Cool.
What about making amends?
What about what?
What about making amends? Amends for the wrongs you've done. For paying back and giving. I don't hear too much about making amends. I hear a lot about forgiveness, like it's done away with, but yet you haven't taken personal responsibility for the harm you caused. So that's why in AA and NA groups, they have the process of making amends, which is actually going and doing a direct amends to somebody that you've harmed.
That's a big thing. That's a big thing. You know what? And you're 100% right, because actions speak louder than words. And if you want to make amends and do something right, you show someone that you love them. And one example that I did step my game up. Thank you very much for reminding me. I did step my game up yesterday. My mom, we've had a little tough relationship for a bit. And last night, when she comes in my office here and sits down, we'll talk and stuff. And yesterday, and I owed her a massage for a while. Well, you know what? I gave her that massage. I felt her back, and I felt big lumps in area, very big lumps in certain areas. And I just gave her love, and I just gave her a massage, and I just hugged her and kissed her, and I massaged her feet. And I made that amends, and it was so powerful for both of us. Because, yeah, you're absolutely right. Actions speak way more louder than words. You want to be loving. You show people that you're loving to them, right? 100%.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody you've harmed, you can get in contact with. But best way of making amends is not repeating the same thing over and over again. And so for instance, if you've been, harmful to your mother or your family or something like that, to treat them with love and kindness is making amends. I mean, to actually undo the harm you've done by actually having a reversal in thinking and treating them with love-based concepts and helpful, uplifting, encouraging thoughts, to actually build them up, not to break them down. So that would be a way of truly making amends to people, is to actually have a reversal in thinking.
Yeah. You nailed it 100%, brother. 100%. Yeah. Thank you so much. You too, Mark.
His name is Mark. He's my kind of genius. He knows how to floor it, and he does flooring.
Oh, right on.
Right, honey?
A master of a lot of trades. It seems that's really cool. Thank you so much, Mark.
That's all right.
That's going to remind me to take more action too, to continue that kind of thing. I talk a good talk, but I walk a good walk. Right. Okay, forgiveness in the field. I think we threw a few in there, but yeah. Who wants to go first?
You want to go first? Or have you already been?
Well, we kind of did throw in a few in there, but let's try again. Did you throw yours in there? I don't know.
I was going to do, this week's been personal, wasn't not personal, special relationships. Ego decided to make a big deal about special relationships this week because my family came to stay. And I think we did pretty good. It's weird how if you put a bunch of people, you know, in a house for a week, they usually end up having a row. Even though they love one another, there's a disagreement, you know, about silly stuff like what's for dinner or what are we doing this afternoon? Somebody arranged something, you know, all that stuff.
Garbage out.
Yeah, families, you know, you can't live without them. You can't live with them. But we had a good week.
Hello, hello. Reality check. Hello.
We didn't have a row, but there was a few sort of near things, you know what I mean? And I just did the usual, you know, gave it away, and it went away, you know. So we had a good week. But yeah, special relationships is and that goes right back to the thing we started with. Really, was when I started doing A Course in Miracles. My biggest special relationship is with my nearest and dearest, and she hated The Course in Miracles when I first started doing it. She hated it with a passion, but she doesn't anymore. And that took forgiveness, you know, and lots of it, and in different ways, you know, and also having to forgive myself because I defended it, and that's fatal. That's attack. So you got to give that away as well. So the subtleties of forgiveness are that's why Course in Miracles is such a whacking great big book. You know, it's actually easy to do, but it's not that easy to understand, and that's what takes the time. You know. But we're all here and we're all doing it, so we're on the right track.
Oh yeah.
My boyfriend Mark, he told me he read the entire book, so it's like I said, my boyfriend's a genius.
Whoa, that's cool.
He's the professor. I'm his experiment. Right, Mark?
You're his experiment.
You're my experiment.
Yeah, he's the scientist. I'm his experiment.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, he looks like a scientist too. Cool.
That's me done.
My forgiveness in the field. Last week I was mentioning my new boss and stuff, and I had a couple shifts this week where it was very early for me, and I thought, sometimes before my shift, I'm thinking to myself, I hope someone doesn't push me too far. I might just have to leave, But actually, I was kind of surprised observing myself not reacting with any anger at all. I was surprised to see myself reacting very lovingly and calmly and not being mad at all about anything, even though I was apparently
very delicate.
So it was cool to kind of see that result that I forgave ahead of time, even though it didn't sound like I was, but I did set the intention right ahead of time, and noticed that it was just so easy, and there was nothing wrong at all, even though on the level of the world I was, kind of unfairly treated. But who cares? That doesn't matter. That's not me, anyways. And that's my classroom. So.
Making progress.
Hey?
Making progress.
Yeah. And as we go, little chip away at the old black hole ego block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Linda, forgiveness in the field this week.
Okay, I have to learn to forgive myself better. I have my station bike over there with the hula hoop.
Ooh, good job.
I'm not using it in a while, so I have to start using it, I usually use it in the morning, like 20 minutes. I'm going to start using it in the morning. That's if I can. Maybe some time before dinner, and maybe before I go to bed.
Sure.
So I'm going to try 2 to 3 times a day. And at nighttime, but I just hope I have the time and strength to do it, because like I said, dinner time, I get tired. I'm sorry, honey?
So we can go for a bike ride after this.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, Mark and I were going to go for a bike
Oh,
ride after this.
cute.
That'll
You
be
guys are
great.
so awesome. You guys are such an adorable couple.
Yeah.
I
We
love
do
you
the
guys.
best we can. And
Yeah.
Mark, he's the one that puts the air in the tires. He's got the legs for it. I mean, he
Yeah.
goes to do it. It takes him a few minutes. I go to do it. It takes me an hour and a half.
He's got the
My
the
legs
brain.
are that bad, believe me.
He's got the brains and the brawn.
Yeah, he's the Jerry Lewis of Lancaster, California. Right, honey?
Yep.
Oh, nice. And you just sit in the basket on his bicycle. You just sit on the front basket.
Yeah, he does flooring. He puts in tile, carpet, and everything. And one of his customers that he worked for, the customer called him Old Faithful Flooring. So
Nice.
that name seems to fit him, you know? I mean, Mark, he's great with the customers. I mean, when you ask him to do something, he'll do it. So he's very, very faithful with the flooring. He's great.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
And all the customers like him better than his boss. Figure that out.
Yeah, tell me about it. Cool. Very, 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 very cool. Nice to meet you, Mark. Very, very nice to meet you.
I know how to BS people, okay? I'll tell you that now.
Well, it's because I go the extra mile with them. You know, like when they ask me to do extra stuff, you know, instead of saying, "Oh no, that's not in the contract," I'll say, "Hey, show me what you got," you know, and then after I do it, you know, they give me $100 tip, or they treat me to lunch, or you know, so it's, you know,
That's the way
it's
to
going
do
the
it.
extra mile, you know, it's like, and there's a big benefit in doing that, you know, it's instead of holding back from people, and you know, and
yeah, it's
want
not
to sort of
really
kind of like, you know, like work with them and say, hey, how can I make you happy? What is it, you know, that I could do for you, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way to do it. I work in the service industry myself, and it's all about, you know, going the extra mile, above and beyond. And you do that, and I do that too. And yeah, it does help a lot. Yeah, I got to take an extra few steps to do this extra thing, but people notice that, and that puts out a good name, and that's going to keep the business coming, and it feels good for yourself too. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like, oh no, that's not in my job description. You know, no, come on, son, grow a spine, get it done. You know, if you feel like, of course. But anyways.
In a nutshell, you got to have a better attitude than your boss. I'll put it that way, okay?
Thanks, darling.
I'm from New York. That's how we say it, okay?
Yeah, I like it.
And that's the
Okay.
way I was raised, so.
Right on. Well, I think you're incredibly brilliant. I'm so happy to talk to you and Mark today, and you set a wonderful example for me too, Linda. Thank you very much. And you too, Langdon. I'm so happy to have you all in my life, and anybody else watching. We couldn't do these calls without you as well. And Jared, Randy, and Viola Krebs, Nathan Lively, Angela Irving. Shout out to all y'all. Yeah, shout outs. Langdon Tompkins are going to pick the videos for next week.
Yeah,
Again.
I'll have to do that tomorrow or later today.
Yeah,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow's fine. Yeah, when you wake up, tomorrow's perfect. I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure 10 or 12 or 15 hours isn't going to make a big difference in the week. Yeah.
I heard that Viola passed away. I'm so sorry. I heard about, and she was in a picture, so I did it for her. So, I mean, I'm so sorry she passed away. It must have been all of a sudden.
Yeah, she's talking about Viola Krebs, Mama Viola, the queen of these calls, passing away.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's a sweet woman.
Sadly missed.
So that's been a forgiveness opportunity too for all of us, forgiveness lesson, and yeah. So love you, Viola. Thank you so much for everything, and thank you, everybody.
Viola. Rock and roll, huh, Viola?
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, Viola, make the play Stars at 45 in Heaven, huh?
So we do
Yeah, I love
need
Stars at
another.
45. I remember them as a teenager. Oh, God, I loved it.
Awesome. So yeah, that concludes the call. Lang's going to choose the videos. Anybody want to join our Facebook group, Living A Course in Miracles Audio Book Club? It's been Christian Stanbury, Linda Pettigrew, Langdon Tompkins. All our lines are unmuted. We're going to end the call like we end all the calls. Good night and God bless.
Good night and God bless.
God bless. That's American Red Cross calling. What else is new?